We learn that we come to the group in order to correct ourselves, in order to achieve better relations of love and connection, and on our way there, we also discover the opposite in order to correct it. Now, this is something we know from our day-to-day life. These are things that all of us felt, that when there's criticism, there are unpleasant states, when someone's offended and so on, and these things can really burden us, and it's a wonder how much we really don't know how to cope with these things most of the time. Now, I know two approaches that I'll introduce of how to deal with conflicts between people. One approach is, if I'm offended by someone, if I'm hurt by someone, I first of all allow myself to feel that I'm hurt, and then I'll try to share and talk about it, and try and find a solution and understand why did it happen and how can we improve our relations. The advantages to this approach is that it doesn't leave things in the dark. Even if it creates a conflict, it can bring us eventually closer. It allows us to connect. Another approach is people that are afraid to be offended or hurt. If something unpleasant happened, I try to ignore it. The main thing is not to reach a state of conflict, of explosion, but stay positive, so to speak, swallow it, and keep on going as if nothing happened. The advantage to this approach is that you avoid explosive situations that are really unpleasant. The disadvantage is that still we feel something unpleasant. It can turn into a grudge. It can distance us from one another, and we lose the intimacy that we were searching from. Now, none of these approaches is perfect, and none of them leads us to the desired result. And today we'd like to hear what happens in a group that studies Kabbalah. We're all people, there are conflicts. How do we correctly cope with these situations in a group, the goal of which is to achieve connection? Meaning, to begin with, in the wisdom of Kabbalah, we have a goal, a clear goal, which is to reach connection. And so we relate to any conflict that might come our way as an invitation for connection. Meaning, all in all, the thing that surfaces between us are the crimes that we have to cover with love. That the egoistic desire that awakens in each and every one of us, positioning us against each other, both in order to attack and also in order to protect itself, these desires, they're actually correct desires, good desires. We're very happy that they're disclosed, because even if they weren't disclosed, they would have still be hidden inside of us. So we understand that if they're revealed, it means that we can already cope with them correctly. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been disclosed. A group of Kabbalists that studies and advances correctly, everything is revealed in them in the right time. According to the power of the good in the group, the power of evil is revealed in the group. And then we can correct the evil by the good. How? Not by destroying the evil, erasing it, burning it, for it to no longer exist. The wisdom of Kabbalah explains that the evil has a no lesser role than the good in our life, and we have to care for the evil the very same way we care for the good, and we have to treat it in an objective, neutral way. That I'm not relating to it as something bad or something good, but my attitude towards them is in the middle. It's called the middle line, where both the good and also the bad are there in order to help me. How do I do that? By positioning them one against the other. Who and who? The good and the bad that's revealed in the relations between the people in the group, among the members of the group. I try to find between them the middle line. the golden path in which I reveal the Creator, the upper force that consists of both of them equally, in harmony. Okay, in general it sounds really positive and good, but in practice I know that when something unpleasant happens, when I'm hurt or I hurt someone else, it's not that easy to look at things objectively. It means that you're not in the right group. Because in the wisdom of Kabbalah, a group to begin with is meant to deal with these things the way I just explained. So what does it mean to look at something like this objectively? It means that it's not me that's scrutinizing the bad and the good now, but it's the upper providence that's opening my eyes in order to see the good things and the bad things, that the good and the bad things towards me, suppose, aren't happening in my friend, but that this is how the upper force is playing with me, so I'll see in him good and bad things in order to come closer to him, atop both of them. Come closer to who? To the friend. And in coming closer to the friend, I necessarily have to discover the Creator, who's arranging all of these conditions. Why is it if I see something bad in the friend, it helps me come closer to him? Because I don't see the friend as a friend, but I see him as a display of the Creator, that he is the one doing it, playing with me. Because behind every friend, there's the Creator. There's no one in the world who has any free choice besides choosing the kind of behavior I just mentioned, and that he can act in some way, decide anything, no such thing. It all comes from above, from one upper force. Meaning that in the group I have to get used to a new attitude, to a completely different way of seeing things. Of course, where I attribute everything that happens to the operating force. Your goal is to discover, to reveal the Creator, so you're given an opportunity to do it. If you're in our group, if you're among ordinary people, then there behave however you wish. It won't help. Okay, suppose something unpleasant happened. I understand that it's not controlled by the person who did it, but that there's a higher intention of the upper force. And in general, if something unpleasant happened to you, it doesn't mean that you see the case correctly. The Creator makes you feel this way. Okay, so what I feel and see now isn't necessarily reality as it is. It's not the true reality at all. It only seems to you this way. As it says, they have eyes, but see not. So how do I start seeing the true reality and not the way I imagine it? When you come out to the right connection with the Creator. Okay, I think that many people understand that when something unpleasant happens between people, then everyone responds subjectively due to his own qualities. We're trying not to do that because it doesn't help. What, to simply argue? Fight? It's not the truth. It's like little kids. To see reality the way it's scrutinized in our corporeal eyes, on the animate level instead of on the human level. So it's not only that I don't understand or see the entire picture, but that there is a higher degree of perception that I have to reach. I'd like to better understand what is that higher degree. If to this day I try to understand why is it happening, how is it happening, why did someone do to me what they did to me, because I want to understand reality the way it really is and not the way it seems to me. So you have to rise above your own feelings, emotions, and to identify the upper force that's above all of these occurrences and operates everything. What is this force? It's the force that organizes and operates the entire reality that we live in, and by making an effort to see that that's the only operating force, that there's nothing else besides this good and benevolent force, and that it does everything that it does in order for us to reveal it, then we come closer to the truth and reveal it. And what happens if someone in the group treats me unfavorably? After I feel that someone, you or Tal, treat me unfavorably, what am I supposed to do? I'm hurt now. You have to cover these things with love. What do you mean? Love covers for all crimes. No, I mean, what does it mean? That you understand that this is how the Creator treats you through the friend in order to develop the quality of love in you. I have to say what you just said to myself? Of course. So I tell myself that this is how the Creator treats me through the friend in order for me to develop within me the quality of love. Yes. Okay, I said that to myself. How is it possible to develop love above all the crimes that are revealed? So it turns out that the Creator hurts me. I didn't do anything, but suddenly someone comes and hurts me, and it's actually the Creator. Sure. So why does he hurt me? In order to awaken in you the quality of love. So I understand that I start from the point where I feel unpleasant because someone treated me unfavorably in the group, and the first thing that I have to do is to set things straight, that it's not the other person that's treating me this way, but it's the Creator operating through him in order for me to develop the quality of love. Right. Okay, what's the next step? That's it. I try to relate to the friend with love. We're talking only inside the group, of course. And then I try to relate to the friend as someone I love, that loves me, and I rise above this bad feeling that awakens in me due to his attitude towards me, and every time I try to be better and better towards him. And what do I do with the initial bad feeling that I felt as a result of your attitude towards me? Suppose you're my friend in the group, and I cover it with love. This is called love covers for all crimes. What does it mean to cover? It means that I rise above my bad feeling that I as if feel as a result of my friend's attitude towards me. I try to imagine that behind the friend is the Creator, and he is the one doing everything, so that I'll reach him through the friend and will reveal that he is the good that does good. Why the good that does good? Because by awakening the force of evil upon me through the friend, he gives me an opportunity to perceive him as good, and by that he helps me rise above my evil that makes me feel bad to the good that's within me, and this is how he advances me towards him. And I discover that everything that happens in the group, the good things, the bad things, the as if good or bad things, because it's according to how I feel them, the more blurry things, the clear things, everything there is, I discover that it is all done by the Creator.